Okay, so we're recording. So welcome, guys, to our call. Have you quit on your dreams? I think that's what I called it, right? Have you quit on your dreams? Um, and this is a topic for me. Sorry, let me just double check. That's what I called it. Yeah, have you quit on your dreams? So it's something I kind of like look at it a lot, like because I'm always looking at um, I'm always asking for more, and I'm always looking at creating the life that turns me on, that excites me, that inspires me. Um, and a lot of that is like, a lot of that stuff is stuff that I would have dreamed of. Like a lot of the life I'm living right now is stuff I would have dreamed of. Like I grew up, and anyone who doesn't know me, I grew up in Ireland. Um, I lived there for most of my life. I moved from Ireland 4 years ago, and I moved to Florida. So before this call, I was looking at like, okay, so what were my dreams when I was younger? So I'm just going to invite you all to look at that. Like, just look at it. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Maybe you like to like jot things down on a pen and paper or whatever. But like, just kind of rack your memory for a second and look at like, okay, so what were your dreams when you were younger, when you were a child? And if you can't remember, that's okay. And and then fast forward and like, okay, what were your dreams, say, in your early teens, or when you were in high school or secondary school or whatever school you went to? What were your dreams then? And one of the things I was looking at, I was like, okay, so a lot of things that were my dreams I've actually created, right? But a lot of the time is that it doesn't, we create it, the way we dream it sometimes doesn't show up in how we create it. Like how we create it shows up differently. So a lot of the time is that we don't actually acknowledge how much of our life, how much we ask for things and how much we create them, and we're actually living a life that actually inspires us already. So first off, everywhere you already created a lot of your dreams and haven't acknowledged it, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, on and shorts, boys and beyonds. And for anybody who's listening who doesn't know what that weird sentence I just said, that's the clearing statement. You can find more about it on www.theclearingstatement.com. And it's one of the tools that we use from Access Consciousness. And I didn't say this already, I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator. And basically what the clearing statement does is it starts to clear away all the layers, all the lies, all the judgments, everything you've kept hidden from yourself, all the secrets, everything you make good about things, right about things, wrong about things. It's like a magic wand. It wipes away all that stuff without even having to know what it is. And it just clears the energy for you, so you're able to see what's true. You're able to see the reality, and you're able to see your reality too, right? So just looking at that question, like, what were your dreams when you were young? Like, what did you dream of? And if anybody wants to pop in and share some of that stuff, please do. So I was looking at it before the call. I was like, okay, so the dreams I had when I was a child was, I always used to be obsessed with ice skating, like figure ice skating, the figure skaters. And whenever the Olympics were on or any of that stuff, I used to be glued to the TV to the figure ice skaters. And I remember sitting at the TV, like just mesmerized by these beautiful ladies with these gorgeous dresses on, out on the ice, and they're like doing these amazing things with their bodies, and they're flipping and they're dancing with such elegance on the ice, with the music and the outfit. So I was like mesmerized by this. So I always remember as a child looking at that and being like, I want to do that. Like that was one of like my dreams. And it wasn't like I spent my whole life dreaming of being an ice skater, but it was just more of the things that, like, it was one of these things that inspired me. And looking at that, okay, I didn't train. I never went and did ice skating. I didn't train to be an ice skater. So I never followed the path of making that dream become a reality. However, looking at it now, what was it that mesmerized me about them? It was the movement. It was the bodies. It was the dance. It was the way their bodies danced. It was the way they flowed. It was the way they were dressed. So it's like looking at that, okay, and then looking at my life today. well, how much of that have I already created? I love to move my body. I move my body every day. I dance already. I'm not a professional dancer, but I dance for fun. And I create movement classes and I do yoga. So looking at that, it's like I got that energy as a child, the dream of the energy of the dancer and the mover and that like flowy energy. And now I'm actually creating towards that. Like I'm already creating it, and what else is possible. So how much of like the dreams that you had as a child, how many of them are you actually already creating? And just look at that and start acknowledging it, right? Another dream I had was to be an actress. I looked up to a lot of actresses, and I always thought, oh, I'd love to be an actress. So I went and I did, in Ireland, they have this thing called speech and drama, which is supposed to be like, you know, you think you would go and like, you know, get to play actress roles and, you know, do all this acting stuff. But when I went to speech and drama, all they did was like teach you how to speak properly, like kind of like elocution lessons. And like as a child, like I really just wanted to be on stage. So because it didn't happen like fast enough for me, or they weren't like, to me it was boring, like the classes I went to were was boring. So I just like kind of like, okay, I don't want to be an actress anymore. This is boring. This is, you know, like I quit on it in a way. And I remember and just whoever comes on the call, if you can mute yourselves, sorry, mute audio. I didn't mean to mute your video. Okay. Sorry, Kitty, I muted your video by an accident. I meant to mute your audio. And if you don't have background noise, you can unmute yourself, please, because I like to know there's other people there too. So one of the things I was looking at was like, okay, so I wanted to be an actress. I went and took these speech and drama lessons when I was younger. I told my mom, I want to act. And she sent me to these classes. And the classes to me were boring. They didn't really do anything fun with us. They were just like teaching us how to say words, and it was very regimental, and there was no real fun in it. So after a couple of months, I was like, Ma'am, by the way, ma'am is the Irish way of saying mum and mother. I was like, Ma'am, I don't want to do this anymore. And she's like, why? I was like, I don't want to do it. So she was very easygoing. She left me, okay, fine. And then I was like, another example would have been like, okay, so then I went and I was like, I wanted to dance. So in Ireland at the time, the only dancing that was available was Irish dancing. So I went to Irish dancing class, and again, like I just wanted to be on the stage, like put me on the stage, give me the dress and let me dance, you know? But like, it was really regimental. Like they taught you the same step over and over and over again. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, hop, 1, 2, 3, 4, hop, over and over. And you literally just like did the same step over and over. And it was really only the girls who were like doing Irish dancing a long time, and they were the ones who had the dresses and would be on stage and competing. But you had to like train for a long time before they would even think about, before you'd even get, you know, to be put on stage or any of that stuff. So I did 1 or 2 competitions, but nothing like major. And I totally just wanted the dress. And I said to my mother, like, can I just get the dress? And she was like, Amy, the dress is like €1,000. Or at the time it was probably pounds. It was like £1,000. Like, and I was like, you know, that's way too much. You need to be doing it longer. And like, of course, impatient, like a being that I was like, well, this is getting boring. Like I am, you know, I was just doing the same step over and over. And there was, it was very regimental. And also like Irish dancing is restricted in the upper body and it's only lower leg movement. So there was no freedom in it for me. So after a while, I started to get really frustrated with it. And I think I did it for 3 months. And then I told my mother, okay, I'm done. And it wasn't fun. It was really competitive. The other girls competed against each other. The teachers all had their pets, like their favorites, the girls who used to win all the medals or who were doing it a long time. And they would give all their attention to those people. And as a aware being that I am, aware infinite being as we all are, I picked up on all that. And it wasn't a fun energy. So I quit. Told my mother I don't want to do it anymore. And at the time, the teacher rang my mother and said, why has Amy stopped coming to class? And my mother said she doesn't want to do it anymore. And she said, oh really, that's so disappointing, because she's actually a really good dancer. And I actually was. It was true. I was actually very good. I had really strong legs, and I was well able to dance, and I was well able to kick high, because that's what you do. But mom was like, yeah, she just doesn't want to do it anymore. My mother never pushed us, and she let it go or whatever, and she let me, go off and play and be free and be a child and stuff. And looking at that, so that was my experience of dancing. Even though I really want to be a dancer, I had that experience very earlier on, didn't like it, and then that was it. Okay, so anywhere we have quit on our dreams as a child based on that experience we had as a child, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on a shorts, boys and beyonds. And all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, expectations, projections, rejections, separations we made of us and of that dream that we had at that time, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, on a shorts, boys and beyonds. And just let that unravel from your body and dissipate and release it. And whatever it was for you, maybe it wasn't dancing, maybe it was something else, maybe it was art, maybe it was acting, maybe it was, maybe it was working outside in the garden, planting trees. It doesn't have to be a massive dream. Like, it could have been anything, anything at all. So I made those decisions. Okay, that's it. Quit on that, and I just moved on. So just to fast forward, to my early, I didn't dance then from whatever age it was, 6 or 7. That was the only dance available to us. So we just carried on, went to school. In school, there wasn't much available. It was running or basketball for girls. And I picked running. I was fast, so I was good at running. And then, obviously mid-teens, you just get into boys and all that stuff. And then in my early 20s, I went to this kind of party place for a couple of months during the summer, and it was Ibiza, and it was a party island. And we danced all summer there. And that summer, the energy of dance woke up in me again. And it woke these energies up in my body where I was like, oh my God, I love to dance. I love dancing. And it woke me up to what dance did for me and where it took me and how it melted my brain and all my thoughts and how it brought me to a whole different dimension, whole different world, kind of beyond this reality. And it was funny. So what came up for me then when I started to acknowledge, around that time I started to acknowledge, oh my God, I really love to dance. And this actually has a massive therapeutic benefit for my body. When I started to acknowledge that, what came up a lot around that then was regret. Why did I give up dancing when I was 6 or 7? Why didn't I carry on dancing? Why didn't I do other classes? I'm too old now. I'm 21. I'm too old to start. I can't be a professional dancer right now. Most people are professional dancers, have been training all their lives. So it's going to be too much work to try to do anything with this now. And it was all this, all these judgments and points of views, limitations, conclusions, and that came up around, and regret, right? That came up that it was too late. Okay. So how many of ye and how many of us all have been functioning from this with our dreams? We've had a dream, we quit on it when we were young, and now we may wake up to it again, but how much points of views and conclusions come up with that? Okay. So all the distractor implants of blame, shame, regret, guilt, remorse, that comes up when you look at your dreams and what you dream of and what excites you and what inspires you. Can we destroy and uncreate all that? Yeah. Right, round, good, bad, pop, pock, on our shorts, boys and beyonds. Vicky, oh my God, I am reliving my childhood. LOL, I was all of these. Yeah, totally. So if anybody, did you have a question, Violetta? No? Okay, cool. So yeah, what comes up for you guys? Does anyone want to pop in and say anything? What comes up for you when you look at your dreams as a child? Do you have things that you dreamt of and that you gave up on? Has anyone quit on their dreams? Or was I the only one?
Hi, Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
You go, you could.
I had a kind of similar experience. I like to dance. I think I was watching ice skating too. And I was learning piano for 1 year, and then got to the boring stage and I wanted to quit. And then my mother was like, yeah, quit, because she didn't want to buy piano for me. Yes, I just quit so easily. And then, yeah, after I grew up and I love music, I wish I could. And if my mom, sort of pushed me to do and the stuff. Anyway, I love dance too. And I do yoga and Celtic, like dancing and stuff now.
Yeah, and it's interesting there, Yuko, when you just said about so you quit and your mother said fine, right? And then the blame that comes up with that later on in life, like, why did you leave me, quit? Why didn't you push me? So like had that I had that too with my own mother. Like later on in life, I was like, why didn't you keep me in dance class? Like, you knew I was good. In my head, I didn't say this out loud to her. I was like, why didn't you keep me in dance class if you knew I was good? Why didn't you push me? Why didn't you send me to other dance classes? And I wonder how much of that blame is actually theirs. How much are they judging themselves for not choosing that? Because later on, my mother said to me, Amy, I feel bad. I feel like I should have pushed you a bit more. I should have put you in more. Because when she realized later on, because like then after, later on in like after my mid-20s or whatever, I started to get involved in non-competitive dance, non-structured dance, more conscious movement. And when she started to see my love for it, she started to go into judgment of herself, because she was already judging herself as a mother in a way that she didn't do enough for us. And she was, and how much of that is this reality? We're always in judgment of ourselves. Even our parents are always in judgments of themselves, like we didn't do enough for them. So had she pushed me, she still would have been in judgment of herself. Maybe I pushed her too much, right? So so it's interesting to look at that, like, is the blame even yours?
Yeah. Well, even for my mom, I've never ever talked about this with my mom. She's just not the kind of person that can have a conversation.
Yeah. But does she blame herself? Is she in judgment of herself?
She wouldn't herself. She's
And maybe she isn't. Yeah. I know my mother did reveal to me that she was in judgment, of herself, that she thought she didn't push me enough, that she should have known that I really loved to dance and should have kept me in. She had 5 kids, you know what I mean? She had her hands full. But so anywhere we are using the past, our past experiences with the things that we love, and anywhere we're using our parents and the way we were brought up to justify not choosing what we'd like to choose today, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop on our shirts, boys and beyonds. And so the title is have you quit on your dreams, right? And that's one of the big things I see for me, and I see other people do, is like they have that early experience. It wasn't the most pleasurable, or it wasn't the most fun, and then come to conclusion, right? You know what? I danced when I was 6, or I played piano and I hated it, or I didn't like it then, or I didn't like the teacher, and then quit totally, right? And it's like, it's funny, like that was your first experience, Yuku, with piano, right? And like, if you were to, and that's it, you may not want to play piano anymore. Also, your dreams can change. So check in with yourself. Okay, true. Do I really desire to play piano anymore? Is that something that would add to my life? Is that something that would inspire me? Right? So it's like, true. Would I like to be a figure skater? I would love to be able to do what they do. Am I willing to go through the training that they do to get to that level? No. So that's another good question to look at. Like, if you do have dreams, like, so it's like, okay, if one of your dreams is very specific, like I would like to be a figure skater. Okay, are you willing to train at that? I want to be an Olympic figure skater. Okay, how are you really willing to take the action involved to create that? Maybe you want to be a figure skater, but maybe you don't have a point of view on what level you're at, So similar to the piano, maybe you want to play piano, but maybe you don't want to do it competitively, or you don't, maybe you just want to learn 2 songs with the piano, and you get the energy that you acquire from learning 2 songs. And maybe, so it's like, it's always checking in, like, okay, so I had this dream when I was younger. Is this still a dream of mine, right? and to what extent, to what level do I want to, where do I want to go with this, you know? I don't have a desire to dance competitively. I just have a desire to move my body. So creating my dreams includes creating my body with movement. So that is something that it is part of my dream life. So any decisions we've made in childhood about our dreams, about our interests, about the things that inspire us, that is stopping us from choosing it today, again, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, color shirts, boys and beyonds. Had you something you were going to say, Vicky? Yeah, she's like, she's in her dream.
I was just thinking about, never mind.
Yeah, childhood.
I don't know if I have too much to say, but also maybe to a point where how many of the teachers that we had, and they knew we were so good, and they didn't want to give us a chance. Like you were talking about how the teachers' pets, and when you get diminished constantly by the teachers because they knew that there was this talent about you, and you were so gifted in a certain area, and they just diminish you constantly, in a way killing your dreams. I mean, now, thank God, to Access, we know that anything is possible and we can be and do whatever we'd like to do. But it just came to me like all that energy, all that suppression energy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, thank you for saying,
So
thank
heavy.
you for bringing that up. Yeah, like, because, okay, so, you know, we come into these, you know, these classes or whatever it is you're going to, and you have a teacher at the time, right, who, you know, is supposed to be like a mentor or some kind of like figure you look up to. But yeah, like, you know, are you too fast already? Like, how quickly do you actually pick something up and know it, you know? So like she was saying, like, oh, it takes like a couple of years to be able to compete at the level these girls are at. But what if it doesn't? What if you're that fast and that talented at that thing that you don't need 2 years? And how much does that scare the teacher? Because that fucks with her reality or his reality, right?
And what if you're not compatible? Like, what if you're not in that competition mode that everyone else is?
Exactly.
Because I know for me, I was never really in a competition mode, ever. It was more like, I just would like to do that. And sure, you know, and these people like to do that. I don't care. But it was more like, for me, I would like to do this and I would like to do that. And you're not in that whole box of you have to be compatible. What is the word?
Competitive?
Competitive. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have to kiss ass, you know, like there's a whole thing that you have to be in.
Yeah, so all the politics that were involved with the teaching that we received, and everywhere we were dismissed, diminished, abused, cut off, and everywhere our infinite being was not acknowledged, everywhere our talents were not acknowledged, our abilities and capacities were not acknowledged. There's a word I'm looking for. And yeah, and everywhere we were just diminished by teachers. Can we now destroy teachers, parents, families, and authority figures? Can we now destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys, beyonds. And everywhere we bought their points of views and their judgments about us as real and true, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys, beyonds. Yeah, that's got a lot of energy on it. Like, that's a lot of what happens. I used to see happening too. Like, yeah, like other, you know, the parents would ask the teacher, so then they would get special treatment for their child, or because they came from money, or because XYZ, and it's all that like favoritism. So everywhere we were, everywhere we bought into favoritism, and anywhere, oh God, what is it? Let me keep talking for a second. So it's like there was like the favorites.
The measurement. Everywhere we had to. It was something to do with measuring.
Everywhere we were measured against the other kids in the class. And can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on choice, boys, meons. That's it. That's the competition energy. And see, we don't have that competition in our world. We come in and we're like, I just want to dance, or I just want to do art, or I just want to climb the wall, or I just want to do gymnastics, or I just want to, you know, play with the Play-Doh, but like the competition energy is there. We don't function from that. So everywhere we were made wrong for not actually functioning from competition, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, corner shorts, boys and beyonds.
And can I just say something?
Yeah, please.
How much is this killing the fun that we are as children growing up? So because we are not, now we are
it
weird.
Totally kills the fun. It kills the joy. There is no fun in competition. It's competition. You're competing against another person. You're trying to be better than them. Competition. So competition, the energy of competition is that you're always trying to be better than someone else while really believing you're less. So there's no oneness or consciousness in competition. It's complete and utter separation. So anybody who competes with you must have the point of view that they're less than you to compete with you. So everywhere you bought competition is real and true, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, on shirts, boys, and competition is an invention. You can't actually compete with someone else because we're all totally different. You know, it's why they look at the amount of bars facilitators in the world. Every bars facilitator is totally different, but we're teaching the same thing. We all teach the bars, right? Access bars. We teach people how to run bars. We're teaching the same thing, but we're all so different. Same if you go to dance. You might all be dancing the same type of dance, but you'll do it differently. That's why competition is just an invention. It's not actually real, but people make it real. Yeah, Vicky, go.
And you know that you were just saying all the steps. So you had to and you know how in Irish dance, everyone has to move exactly
the same.
It's the whole form and structure.
Yeah. So
right?
Everywhere you give up in your dreams because of the form and structure, will we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, on shirts, boys, beyonds. Because we all know we don't like form and all humanoids, okay? Don't like form and structure. We resist to form and structure. Ooh. So all the resistance and reaction we have to the form and structure of all the things that inspire us and excite us, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, on shirts, boys, beyond. And that's another big quitting on your dreams, is because of the form and structure. Thanks for that, Vicky. Yeah, like you'll go, you're like, oh, I want to learn Spanish, and you'll go take a Spanish class, and it'll just be like, teacher will be teaching from form and structure and order, and you're just like, oh my God, I want to kill myself. Like, it's that energy. It's like, oh, this is so difficult. And it's like, not because it's difficult for you to learn the language, it's just the way that it's taught. So everywhere you have quit or given up on your dreams because of the way it was taught to you, can you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, on shorts, boys, and a perfect example. Again, it's about dance. I'm sorry. Dance is like my thing. So I always really wanted to learn how to salsa dance. And it was like one of my dreams again. And like, so I went and I took this class, and it was called like salsa steps or something, right? And I took the class, and I took it for a couple of weeks. It was like a 4 or 5 week course. And the guy who was teaching it, like, he would break down all the steps into different parts or whatever. And I could not get it. Like, I could get it kind of, and then I couldn't, then I would like miss steps, and I was just a bit all over the place. And I just couldn't understand it, because when I like danced by myself, I kind of danced salsa already without even being taught it. So, but then when I would go to a class, when they would teach it, I would never be able to do it properly, and then I'd judge myself, and I'd go into my head, and I'd just be like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get this? And I'd judge myself for being slow and for being stupid. And I'd come home and I'd be so depressed, and I'd tell my mother, I don't know, I think I'm just slow. I don't think I can follow instructions. oh my God, I judge myself so bad, right? And I actually quit. I quit on that too. It's like, okay, maybe salsa isn't for me. Maybe I just can't learn it. And I quit. And then a couple of years later, but it was still always there, niggling at the back of my head, like, you want to learn salsa, you want a Latin dance, go do it. And a couple of years later, there was like a social club in Ireland, in Cork City where I lived. And it was more like a kind of like a club, a social night. And these people would go and they'd all salsa dance, and they'd do all different types, bachata, kazomba, all different types. And I went and I just observed them first, and I was watching them, and it was fun and stuff. And this guy came up and he was like, you want to dance? And I was like, I don't really know. And he goes, just follow me. So it's like, okay. And it was a small bit awkward, I didn't really know what to do or whatever. And then someone else came up and asked me, and he goes, I'll show you. Again, he said, I'll show you. You just follow my lead. And I noticed it was way easier with him. So I was doing Access at this stage, and this was when I just found Access. So I was starting to notice when people were in their heads and when people were in their bodies. So the first guy I danced with that I felt awkward with and I was judging myself was actually in his head. He actually wasn't in his body when he was dancing. He was doing it from his head. And he was also trying to teach me from his head. And the second person I danced with, which was easier for me, was in his body. And he was dancing from his body and just moving with his body. So it was easier for me. So I went back the following week, and again, a couple of guys took me out dancing, and a couple of, again, noticed the same thing. One person in their head, very difficult for me to dance with. Person in their body, so easy, right? And that started to show me all those years ago when I started to try to learn salsa in that class and I judged the hell out of myself. It wasn't that I couldn't dance. It wasn't even that I was stupid. It was the person was teaching it from their head. They weren't teaching it from their bodies. They were breaking it down, and it was too slow for me. It was too slow. So I would have to like slow myself down, go into my head, try to figure it out. And while I'm trying to figure it out, I can't actually have fun with it or actually know that I already know it, right? So how many of you, again, have quit on your dreams because somebody was so slow teaching you that it frustrated you and you actually gave up and judged yourself and thought that you were slow rather than acknowledge that the teacher was slow? Everything that is, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, on our shorts, boys and yans. So I met a lot of friends at that time who are all from different parts of the world. And funny enough, the guy in his head was Irish. The guy who wasn't in his head was like, there was one guy who's a Colombian, a really good friend of mine, Alexander Ray. He taught me a lot because he was like, he really taught from his body, like he embodied the movement, he embodied the dance. And he just told me, Amy, you know this already. Your body knows this movement. You just got to get out of your head, get into your body and follow the movement that your body knows, right? So how much, and it doesn't have to be dance, but how much when you go to learn something, do you know it already? And if you were to trust that you actually know it, how much faster and easier would it be for you? So everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge that, claim, own, and acknowledge what you know now, can be destroyed and create it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, on our shorts, boys, me ants. And it was amazing how quick the movement came to me when I just went, oh my God, I've known this. I've always known this. I've always known this movement. And at that stage I was doing Access. So I know, okay, there's been lots of other lifetimes where I've been a dancer, lots of lifetimes as a Spanish person. You know, I loved Spain. I grew up going to holidays there. I loved the language. So of course my body knew the movement. So you could, with the piano, how many other lifetimes were you a piano player? So when you quit on the lessons, was it that it was too slow for you? You know, and so it's really good to acknowledge that, you know, and thanks for bringing that up, Vicky, like how fast we are. And when someone breaks things down into like little, you know, steps and levels, it literally like frustrates us. Every time you say you're Irish, you sound Spanish to me. Thanks, Vicky. I love that. That made me happy. I'm more Spanish than Irish, but yeah. So I really invite you to look at the dreams you had as a child and the experiences you had and the decisions that you made that have brought you to actually give up on them and to quit on them. And what can you choose now, knowing that? Okay, what is it that you're still longing for? Like, what is it that your body is asking for? What is that thing like that your body's like, oh, I really want to do that. Your infinite being is like, I really want that. I really want that in my life. But you stop yourself because you've some decision or judgment that, oh no, that would be too hard and it would take too long to learn, or I'm too old for that, or, you know, you should have done that when you were 16, or whatever it is. So what is it? What are those things? It doesn't have to be one thing. It can be a couple of things. It can be a whole list of things that your body is longing for, that your being is longing for, that would inspire you and excite you and like actually turn you on and turn your life on and up. And anything that doesn't allow you to know that, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, on our shorts, boys, me ants. Any questions? Anyone have anything they want to add? Another thing is, I don't know, I mean, I have this book, Yuku, you want to say something? You're good? Okay. So I have this book. It's like a journal. And I get one every year at the start of the year. And I journal everything. Not everything, like, but I journal like everything I want to create for the year. Right. And it's all my dreams. It's like the things I am asking for. Like, you know, like if I'm already dancing, it's like how much different types of dance I want to do. Or if I want to be a certified facilitator, or if I want to travel the world. Like these are all dreams I had when I was younger too. Like when I was younger, I would have said I wanted to travel the world. Right? I still want to travel the world. And I have to acknowledge where I'm already creating it. I live in a different country. I live in Florida. I live in Ireland. I travel to other places. So start looking at, okay, what are your dreams? What were your dreams when you were younger, right? What are your dreams now? Are any of the dreams when you were younger still asking to be created now? And how many of them are you already creating and in the process of creating? Because it's really important it's really easy for us to go into judgment like, oh, I totally wanted to do this when I was younger and I never did it, and then judge the hell out of yourself, rather than just acknowledging, actually, you know what? I'm already taking action to create that. Okay. And this whole call is like leading up to a series that I'm doing, which is Creating Your Dreams, the action series. Okay. So like one thing is to look at what your dreams are, and then look at what it is you'd like to have in your life and what it is you'd like to create. And the next part, which is my favorite part, is the action, right? There has to be action. If there's no action, nothing gets created. And action is something I'm really good at. And that's why I've created this action series for creating our dreams, because a lot of us, what we do is we talk about it. And we talk about it, and we talk about it, and we talk about it from regret and from the past, or from blame, or from judgment, or from it's because of my mother, or it's because of the teacher I quit, or whatever. Fine, you quit, right? I quit dancing. I quit when I was 6. But I started again. And when I was 21, I took action. And I took the action to create it, and I'm still taking action. There's no completion point to your dreams. It's not like, okay, I've arrived, I'm on stage now, that's it. Like Beyonce had a dream, right? To dance and sing. She hasn't completed her dream. She's constantly creating more and more and more and more and expanding on it. How does she expand on it? By taking action. So what are your dreams? What are the things that have been asking to be created? And what action is required to start instituting that today? Like today. So,
Hey,
yeah.
Sorry, maybe you'll do some clearings on the word action.
Okay, so Vicky, don't unmute yourself again, love.
Okay.
Let me ask you, okay, what does action mean to you?
Doing.
Okay. So what does doing mean to you?
Doing because I have to.
Okay, whose point of view is that?
Well, if I don't do it, then I won't take action.
Yeah, but who says you
I'm really
have
good
to?
at not taking action.
So I said, what does action mean to you? You said doing. And I said, what does doing mean to you? And you said, because I have to.
Yeah, return to sender. Yeah.
Is that your point of view, that when you do, you have to?
No.
Or is that someone? Okay. So whose point of view is that?
I want to say society.
Okay. So everywhere you bought this reality's point of view, that action means that you have to do, and do means that you have to, and you have no choice. Can you destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys, means. And everywhere you've made doing and no choice universe, can we destroy and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys, means. And everywhere you've made action a no choice universe, can we destroy and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys, means. Let's run this. What's your judgment of action?
Ooh, very heavy.
Okay, bring it up. Words. Bring them out. Everyone, what's your judgment of action? Work. What's your judgment of action? Hard work. Busy. What's your judgment of action? What's your judgment of taking action?
Lazy.
Okay. That's funny. Everything's the opposite of what appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what appears to be. So did someone call you lazy? Were you labeled as lazy growing up or something?
I judge myself as lazy.
Okay. For what reason?
Actually, I don't judge myself anymore because I listened to Gary's call, those 3 calls.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just have to cough one.
Didn't he facilitate you on lazy in the call? Yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, I judge my dad for being lazy and not creating more for us.
Oh, okay.
And now I am biomimicking him.
Yeah,
and
because
lazy.
anything you resist and react to, you have to align and agree, and you end up creating the same thing. So my
Yeah.
dad was lazy; he didn't create enough for us. You resist and react to him for that, but then you end up creating the exact same thing,
Exact same thing.
exact same energy, or the opposite energy, which is still the same, which is doing. So every day I would look at destroying and creating your points of views around what doing is and what action is. And if you notice, action and doing are different. I'm not saying you got to do a lot. I'm saying what action is required, right? So it's like if so give me an example. Is there any dream that you've quit on?
Many.
Okay.
I'll bring you an example.
Is there any dream that you've quit on that you're longing to have again, to have differently, or to have in your life? That your body is asking for. Okay, what is it?
I would like to be with the horses and with the earth, like to have a property and grow like organic stuff and have a retreat and have horses and have children come in and.
Okay, and I'm going to use an example here. Okay, you're going to be our guinea pig. This is how we're going to play with the action. Okay. So cool. Right. So your dream is to play with horses, right? That's the first part. And then also have the farm and the property and then the holistic center. And then like, as you get into that, like you're adding stuff, right? You're going to probably do bars there, probably do access classes, and you can see how it grows, right? And that is great, and have those dreams, right? Don't shut that off. Okay. That's an awareness of the future that you would like to create, right? And it's like looking at, sometimes when we go into that, then what we do with it is like, oh, like that's such a big dream, right? Oh my God, that, it's almost like outside of our reality, or like outside of our reach. Like, I don't have the money for that right now. That's like so out there. I don't even know how I'd create it. So it's like we give up. It's like we quit. It's like we're like, it's so out there. I don't even know how to even get there, so I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to not even do it. Like I'm just going to just forget about it, or just put it to the back of my head. Someday when I marry a rich man, or when I win the lotto, I'll have that. And it's like, no, you won't. That's the hopes and dreams bar. Get your hopes and dreams run. Okay. Those things don't just happen. You create them. So the question is, what can I do or be today to create? And what can I do and be? What can I be and do? It's not do or be, it's be and do. So what can I be and do today to create that right away? Okay. You can look at starting with the horses. Okay. Do you have the energy of horses in your life right now? Not just the energy, but are you actually around horses physically?
No. I do see them though a lot.
Okay. You see them, right? So would your body like to have horse riding in your life? Yeah. So that's something you can take action on right away. You can look up horse riding lessons in your area. Or
wait, but I don't have the money for that.
Oh, I don't have the money.
I don't have the money for that.
Okay, so everything that is, all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, capitations, expectations, projections, rejections, separations you've already made about this, can we destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, popcorn, shirts, boys, beyonds. So you've just quit.
Yeah.
You just quit on your dream by saying, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. So say that 3 times.
I can't believe I said that. Anyway, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the money.
Okay, so all the Shikyu implants and everything, and all the Mobius strips and everything underneath that, can we destroy and uncreate it? And everywhere you implanted and explanted with that point of view to stop you ever creating your dreams, can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on our shirts, boys, beyonds. Is it true? Is that true?
No.
Okay. Do you have
money?
Okay, and do you have a capacity to create? Can you create?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I
Okay. So
have not been taking action to create.
yeah, and also like, okay, I don't have the money right now. So what else is possible here, universe? What other possibilities are here? Have you ever thought about like there's lots of things I did not have the money for, and I'm like, okay, so what else is possible? Even, with classes, like, okay, what could I contribute here? Could I work for this? Could I offer my services? Could I volunteer in return for working with horses? Like when I first came to Florida, like I volunteered at a yoga center in return for yoga. I worked a couple of hours at the front desk, and then I got my yoga for it, my as much yoga classes as I required. So it's like you come to the conclusion you don't have the money, but it's not really about the money. That's you quitting on you.
So, okay, absolutely. And, I have to laugh because I've taken 3 months with a Bowman's, and I just taken Dane's 10 calls with the money. And I can't believe I just said I don't have the money.
So is it really about the money?
No, it's probably something else.
So what would happen if you actually took steps to create the dream of the horses and the house and the center and the farm?
And my heart is beating a little too hard right now, and I am getting hot flashes.
You'd be so turned on, you would have orgasmic energy every single day, every minute of the day, because your life would be so exciting and so inspiring. And
So, Amy, what is that then? What is this?
So what is it? Tell me, what is it? Like, what is the value of not creating everything that would actually turn you on?
Oh, because then I'll prove myself how mediocre and how limited I really am.
Okay, cool. And what does that prove?
Well, then I don't have to take the action.
Okay, and what happens then?
Then I don't have to change my life.
So who are you keeping mediocre? Who are you keeping yourself mediocre for?
I don't know.
Everything that brought up, let's destroy and create it all. Right, round, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys and beyond. So it's like, okay, I have this dream. I know what I'd like to create. It's horses. It's a holistic center. It's this, it's that, it's that. Okay, what action can I take today to create that right away? I could go and volunteer at a horse shelter or whatever. You have loads of options. I can create so many different things with horses right now today. Okay, I'm not choosing it. For what reason am I not choosing it? I'm keeping myself small and keeping myself mediocre. For what reason would you keep yourself small and mediocre? What would happen if I was creating the dream life that I know is possible?
Thank you for those questions, because this is not the first time it's coming up for me during facilitation. It's almost like a broken record now.
Yeah, and it's like, and you'll get to the point where you're like, I'm done. Like, it's choice time. You know what I mean? Like, it gets to the point where, like, Sue, my friend, is on this call, and like we talk a lot about dreams together. Like, she's an amazing singer, and her kids are really funny because they're amazing singers. So they're constantly singing in the house, and they're doing concerts, and they're singing all the time. So they're showing her like her talents as well. And like, I'll ring up her and I'll be like, this friend of mine is dancing and she's creating these classes, and why aren't I creating it? I'll go through all this frustration, and like she'll turn around to me and she'll be like, I'll be like, I'm going to create a class. And she'd be like, just shut up and create it already. And I'll do the same to her. I'll be like, just shut up and sing already. Like, just stop talking about it. Like, there comes a point, and that's why I've created this series coming up called Create Your Dreams, the action series. There comes a point where you got to stop talking about it and start taking action. And the action isn't work. It's not going to be hard work. Actually, if anything, and that's choice. Gary talks about choice. That's choosing. Choosing is taking action. Like, if you were to choose a class, you would take the action to create the money, and you would move. You would book flights. You would book a hotel. You would go to the class. That is action. So how much, Vicky, are you already taking action, and you're not actually acknowledging it? You're taking action by being on the Bowman's call. All this is leading up to where you are today, where you're looking at, what is the life I'd like to have? What is the business I'd like to have? Because you're also talking about a business here. The farm you would live on, the horses, that all could be a business and a source of income for you, because
it's funny because I thought I knew what I would like my life to be like. And then all of a sudden it was just a block. And I just keep asking, what would I like my life to be like? What would I like my life to be like? And now I've been asking, I realized I didn't know what fun was for me a few days ago. All of a sudden I just realized I didn't know what fun was for me. And now, thank you so much for this call, because talking about
Dreams. Yeah.
our childhood and all that, I
Yeah.
realized, well, first of all, I just saw where the fun was, what fun was truly is. Because for some reason, I won't allow myself to tap back into that energy. And I saw exactly when the fun was starting to really just kind of
Yeah, and with the tools of access now, you know, you can still have that childlike wonder and awe and joy, you know, like we all get our bars run here, you know, and anyone who's listening in the future, access bars, get your bars run. Help you have more fun and joy. But like we get our bars run, so we have access to that joy again, you know, and what else now, you know, so you can still, like, what we may have missed out in childhood, like, yeah, we wanted to dance and sing and play and, you know, and do art and all these other things and ride bikes and swim and cycle and whatever when we were kids. And when that energy, that joyful energy, was shut down in those things and shut down in us, and we shut off to those things, now we get to have a second chance. We get to have another go at it, like in a different way. Now we get to have that childlike sense of wonder and joy again with these things. And we also know we don't have to compete. We don't have to judge ourselves. And we do it now in a way that works for us. And that's creating your own reality. And that's creating your dreams. Like, I'm creating my own reality with dance, with movement, with consciousness, with access. So it's like looking at what it is that you shut down that you would you'd like to have in your life now, and choosing it in a way that works for you. So someone else might want to, you know, breed horses. Somebody else might want to have a horse farm. Someone else might want to just ride horses on the beach. So it's like looking at, like, if it's horse riding for you and that's one of your dreams, okay, how would you like that? Like, what way would you like that in your life today? And then looking at the action required, you know, and sometimes it's just Google, you know, dance lessons in your area, or a class, or a social club, or a meetup. And it's just those seemingly small choices. When you start making those small choices, they lead to the big dream, to the big vision. But it's like, if you get caught up in the big vision, like, oh, I want to be on stage, or I want to be on TV, or I want to have this big massive mansion. If you get caught up on, like, yeah, you can have that vision. Okay. And it's funny, the meaning of the word dream is actually pre-1940. It was like vision was one of the words that came up in it. I can't pull it up now, but I put it on the event page. Like, vision was a word that kept coming up. So you have the vision of the big dream, and where we a lot of times quit is in the daily stuff, the daily the daily choices. So every day, like, looking at, what can I choose today, you know, and adding that to your life every day, like adding the energy of the horses today, adding the energy of the dance or the art or whatever it is. So it removes those blocks of energy that, like, it's the big vision is like too much work, or it's out of our reach, or whatever. And I think it's Aristotle, or whatever his name was. Sorry, Aristotle. He wrote that, like, if you love something, practice it every day. You know, and it's funny. I was looking at that recently, and I was like, you know, I'm an access consciousness facilitator. I facilitate every single day. So I am actually practicing every day. So for what reason would I not dance every day? You know, and anywhere any of us have made practice hard work and something we have to do, can we destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, corner shirts, boys and means. So it's creating your reality with your dreams. It doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be regimental. It doesn't have to be competitive. It can be fun, and asking every day, like, okay, so body, how would you like to create this today? You know, how would you like to have the horses in your life today? And maybe it's not horse riding every day. Maybe it's reading a book about horses. It's like, educate yourself about the thing that it is, about those things that you love. And those things that you're asking to have in your life. Start educating, start including that energy in your life. You know, if it's if it's acting, go join an acting club, you know, and like, and anywhere you're using money to stop you, destroy and uncreate it, because there's always different choices available. So I just want to throw it open. If anybody has a question that they want to answer, because we're coming to the end of time. If anybody has anything you want to pop in before we finish up, please do so now. Oh, Vicky looked it up. The dream. The thought or series of thoughts of a person in sleep. We apply dream in the singular to a series of thought which occupy the mind of a sleeping person, in which he imagines he has a view of real things or transactions. A dream is a series of thoughts not under the command of reason, and hence wild and irregular. That's so fun. That's interesting. Yeah. So how many of us are our dreams? How many of our dreams are actually wild and irregular and out of control and beyond this reality and out of form and out of structure and out of significance? And anything that doesn't allow us all to acknowledge that, destroy and uncreate it, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, popcorn, shirts, boys, beyonds. And anywhere you're trying to fit your dreams into this reality, stop. Don't destroy and uncreate it. Your dreams don't fit into this reality. And anywhere you try to share your dreams with someone who can't receive them, who then shut it down and tell you it's not possible, stop. Don't do it. Destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, popcorn, shirts, boys, beyonds. Do not share your dreams with people who can't receive it. Okay, they will kill it just for me, just for fun. Never tell anyone. Ask, can this person receive it before you share? Okay, so I have a Create Your Dreams, the action series. It's going to be a 5-week series coming up starting Monday, April the 30th. It's going to be every Monday, live calls. I'm also going to have a Facebook group for us to play in. And I'm going to do a couple of energy pulls as well every week. But basically the whole thing is going to be about action. So Vicky, don't join us. And it's going to be about taking action to create your dreams. It's going to be an interactive series. We're going to be holding each other accountable for creating those things that we've been wanting to create, that we've been putting off, that we've been talking about but not taking action on. Okay? And so if you want more information about that, I'll probably send it out with the recording of this call. And any questions, just email me or catch me on Facebook Messenger. And I'm so grateful you're all here with me today. Thank you so much. I love talking about this.
Amy.
Thank you. I don't know whose voice that was. Vicky. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you so much. Look at you, Mary Paz, out in the sun.
Thank you. I got